You can't find it all on TV because it's all on TV, but you got to find the 12 different channels it's on. We're talking about the Olympics. John, I thought the opening ceremonies, the Parade of Nations on the River Seine, I mean, I thought it was great, great theater. The flags, the boats. I thought there were some other things that happened there that were just unique. The salute to Team Ukraine on their own individual boat. They have only two medalists on Team Ukraine, and they stayed in Kiev and the other cities and trained while the Russians are bombarding and killing all the people in those cities. Wow. And there's a total of 15 Ukrainian athletes on their Olympic team. Everywhere they went on the Parade of Nations, and then when they got off the boat to go into the stadium carrying the flag, the response was unbelievable. And that's the other thing. The boat after had nobody on it, and that should have been the Russian boat. And the Russians were banned. Their athletes were banned from the opening ceremonies, and the Russians who are competing in the events that started over the weekend and through this week and next week cannot wear the Russian uniforms, cannot carry a Russian flag, cannot hear the anthem if any of them medal. I mean, they are, quote, independent. So that's really interesting. But I thought the ceremonies were just electric. And then there's the unbelievable heartwarming story. This is the biggest comeback of all. Not comeback from an injury, but I'm talking about the comeback of the emotion of mental health. What Simone Biles has done, and she got nicked. She's got a calf injury, and yet she's staying on there. I saw her event Sunday on the beam, the single beam. I mean, she almost got a perfect 15 score, and this is a person that's competing with an injured calf. And she's going to compete in all 4 events in the team competition. And her coming back from the emotional trauma of what happened in the last Olympics and in the championships because of mental health. What a phenomenal story there. USA basketball, they stomped Serbia. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, 44 points, shot 62% from the floor, hit 18 threes in the Team USA win. Now they're going to play South Sudan on Wednesday in their second round game. But Steve Kerr's got a juggling. He's got some unhappy players. He did not play Jason Tatum of the Celtics, did not play Tyrese Hardison of Indiana in the first round game. And they both kind of barked about it at the press conference. Mm-hmm. So he's got to juggle some guys, but they're going to play.
It's only one ball.
Yeah, that's right. And one game at a time. I was kind of aghast at this story. Team USA's women, obviously, they stomped Japan today in their first round game. But Dawn Staley, the legendary coach, went public and when asked on NBC about the whole Caitlin Clark story, and she made the comment, well, if we knew what she was going to turn out to be as a pro, she probably could have been put on this roster, maybe should have been put on this roster. Huh? You didn't take any of the accomplishments of what Caitlin Clark did at Iowa and give that any consideration at all? Now, Caitlin Clark's not angry about it. She's not talking about it. But Dawn Staley says, yeah, well, I guess we should have considered it now. Well, you think?
Jeez.
So we got that. USA soccer, they're rocking and rolling. Men's team, 3 goals in 22 minutes. They pounded New Zealand in their first game. Women's team is now 2-0. You know, last time we talked about the U.S. women's team, we talked about how young they were. Well, all those young players are really dominating. Sophie Smith scored 2 more goals. Mal Swanson now has 3 goals in 2 games. They battered Germany in their...
West Germany?
No, they battered Germany. I got a W here, which signifies win. They battered... Wise ass. They battered Germany for their second straight win. They've now moved on to the knockout round. And then the final Olympic story, we've not heard the end of this. We've heard the juicy part of it, and it's really bad, and now it's spreading like a bad oil spill. Canadian soccer, they are raging in Canada about the coach and the 2 assistant coaches using a drone to scout Switzerland before their first round game. Illegally using a drone to scout an opponent's workout. They've expelled the head coach. They've expelled the 2 assistant coaches. They fined the Canadian soccer program $226,000. The 3 coaches have now been expelled from pro soccer for 1 full year. The fans were brutal. They booed the Canadian players, the Canadian women players on the field, which is unfair. They had no knowledge that any of this junk was going on. And now the investigation is spread to the Canadian men's team
Hmm.
that they may have used drones to, quote, illegally scout future opponents in the Olympics. So that story still out there. I don't think we've heard the end of that story. So, John, what'd you think about the opening ceremonies?
Oh, I like the opening ceremonies are amazing. I mean, now granted, there's the whole Last Supper, politics, religion. And let's put that aside. Really, the parade, the boats, it was all terrific. It was weird that it rained, in the City of Lights in July, and that kind of put a damper on it. But it's the Olympics are a great event, and it's not just because the world and all we can root for our nation. It's more like everyone's coming together.
To feel good.
And then you've got these athletes that have been busting their butt for 4 years, 8 years, all planning to peak just at this moment. And and then for some of them, they can put it all together and get a gold medal. I saw one of the male gymnasts from Japan, one of the top players or top performers, and he ended up having like some brain farts. He froze, and just it can crack for them. It's just so emotional. But you look at your headlines here. Yes, Simone Biles is fantastic. That young lady, she's really not a young lady anymore. She's been in the Olympics.
29.
Yeah, so she's working her way up there. She is so athletic, so strong. I mean, it's incredible given her diminutive size. USA basketball, I saw the game against Serbia. I mean, Jokic was out there on the opposing team
by himself,
but that was a rout. Yeah, Caitlin Clark definitely deserved to be here. The SC coach, really admitted that they made a mistake. But the whole Canada thing. I mean, they have Bill Belichick. There's their GM or something. What's going on over there?
Consultant, just terrible. I saw a really cool picture last night, and we're gonna go to Fans Forum in just a second. I saw a snapshot of beach volleyball being played right there, and the stadium was constructed in a big parking lot, and right in the background is the Eiffel Tower all lit up.
Sweet.
What a cool picture that was. But the Olympics were really, really great theater. Hey, listen, our podcast is brought to you by Dixieline Lumber and Home Centers, 9 stores in San Diego to serve you, and by North County Eye Center, offering free eye exams through the end of this month. Call them, set up an appointment. Make sure you tell them Hacksaw sent me.